Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome. This is another episode of This Is Us. Of course, I am yours truly, TR Nayarex, representing for the TR show, and of course, the royal family. And right beside me is the beautiful, no other than SF Rose. And on the panel this evening, we have Tommy Travels, representing for the royal family as well. He has been a fantastic person and a fantastic individual and member of the royal family. I want to say, guys, if you don't know this man on the screen, it is full time that you know him. Correct that mistake immediately. All right, as we get into another episode of this event, this is us. This is TR, Nayarex, and
SF Rose.
all right, here we go. Ready to get the roll rocking. I mean, this whole show rocking and rolling. Let's go and get it on the road.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to give you a little briefing of what's going to happen tonight. So I have Tommy here. He's my MC of the
MC.
evening. MC of the evening. He has a list of several questions that were given by many of you in the community. And they were questions directed at either myself, TR, or the both of us. So he's going to read out some of the questions and we're going to answer them. And if there's time, or maybe at some point, we might actually see if somebody in the chat wants to type a question who didn't get the opportunity to send me one. There was a lot of questions, so I did have to narrow it down. Some were a repeat, and I'm actually going to keep the names of whomever sent the questions. I'll leave it anonymous. You all know what your questions were, but I'm not going to let everybody know that, Tony Damien said this or Leonard Duke said that. And Tommy Travels, actually, you are also going to be on the spot to ask questions because when I never asked you, but I know you're good for a few questions.
Sure.
So that's basically how it's going to go. And another thing that we are going to be doing this evening is I'm going to call it a raffle or / lottery type of giveaway. So it's a mystery giveaway. You have to be in it to win it. $5 is the price for I'll call it the raffle ticket. And what that $5 does, it gets you one spot on the wheel. For every $5, you get a spot on the wheel. So Tommy Travels right now has 20 spots on the wheel. I will spin the wheel. I'm not certain if there's going to be more than one giveaway. I'll decide that later in the chat. And you do not have to be in the chat if you win. Because I'll basically say that your money that you gave to be on the wheel has secured your spot to win. So the basic rules are you must have PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. If you're somebody who lives in Jamaica and you win, the only option for you is PayPal or Digicel credit. And I might think of one other option, but if you don't have PayPal or Zelle and you win, then it's going to have to be Digicel. If you don't have Digicel, then it's going to be forfeited to somebody else. And the only other thing is if, in fact, you're in Jamaica and you want to be in it, you can PayPal. And or if you have PayPal or Cash App, you just need to let me know in the chat that you've sent. And once I see it sent, then depending on what it is, your name will then also go on the wheel. So everybody technically, in an essence, can enter if they choose to, as long as they have a PayPal, a Cash App, or the means to super chat. So trying it out, it's like I said, it's like a lottery. You have to be in it to win it, and we'll see how it goes this week. And with that said, I
Also, I
apologize for being late.
I would also
ahead,
just
Tommy.
suggest that you can only win once. So even though I have 20 on there, if I do win one, don't feel like, oh, well, he's just going to win all of them because he's got all those drawings on there. If you only can win once, then that's good. Then everybody still has a chance to win.
Okay. I'll enforce that rule. I agree with Tommy. Although part of me wants to let somebody win more than once if there's more than one to win. But I'm gonna roll with it, being that it's your suggestion, Tommy. So I'm gonna roll with that. So you can only win once if there is more than one spin. I might make just one big one. I might make a couple of small ones. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm gonna do it towards the end of the chat. And like I said, you don't have to be here. And if in fact you win, I know where to find most of you to be able to get in touch. So with that said, I apologize for being late. It's actually not TR's fault this time. It is actually my fault. So I just apologize. And thank you all for being patient and being here. And we're just going to get started. So Tommy, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, let's give a big warm welcome to TR and SF Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. No, settle down, you guys. We only have a limited time here. This is going to be fun because, you know, a lot of times you come in and see TR show or SF Rose, and there's a lot of action and activity going on. And you don't always get a chance to find out more about them, about TR and SF Rose. Who are you? Who are you? We don't know. Well, some know over the course of time, you pick it up, but there's a lot of newer people in the chat and people that don't know certain things. So this is a good opportunity to get to know a little bit more about TR and SF Rose. And so we are going to do some questions and answers that came right from you guys in the chat. And then a little bit later on, as we get through these, we'll take some more if you have other questions that we haven't covered. So first, we're going to start with SF Rose. SF Rose, where did you grow up?
Okay, so I born and raised in New Jersey. The town that I was born in, Perth Amboy. The county, Monmouth County. And actually, till this day, I still live in Monmouth County. So outside of college and a little brief stay in Florida after college, I have lived in this part of New Jersey for the rest of my years till now.
So all the time, your whole life, just in New Jersey.
And yes, then outside of college, I went to Arizona State, and outside of a brief attempt at living in Florida. That's it.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How is it that you were in the Sunshine State in Florida, soaking up the sun, and then you said, I think I'd rather move back to New Jersey? Was it a family thing, or
no? The struggle was real. They don't really have a change of seasons, so I found it difficult.
Yeah, and it does get pretty hot in the summer. They do complain about the heat, and then no fall, no winter to speak of.
Although
so.
I love the heat. I love the heat. I just actually don't. I don't like having to work every day when it's nice out.
Yeah, I totally agree there. And then I don't like to have to work when it's not nice out either, actually.
Well, you know what? Like I said, maybe one day we won't have to.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be the way to go. And then here's another one from the questions. Have you ever been married before TR?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Nope, I have not.
Very nice. And so, how long have you been together? I know you've been married for only a short time, but how long have you been together?
March will be 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Oh, I thought I heard you make a noise. Like what?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, TR?
Yes, it's absolutely 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long were you happy? I'm just kidding.
Except I count it different from SF Rose. So March of this coming year will be 2021, and you can only get 3 out of 3 years. But as far as I'm concerned, it is 4. March is gonna be 4 years because I start from the day we met, which is the March of 2018. And so 2018 1, 2019 2, 2023, and 2021 4 years.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there. And then now, SF Rose, how did you come to love music?
Well, for me, actually growing up, pretty privileged. Always had, decent things. And I did have a TV in my bedroom from a very young age, but I also had a stereo system. And for some reason, there was always something about the music. So if I was ever get in trouble, I was never really that big of a TV person. So if I was to ever get in trouble, I would never want my radio or my stereo to be taken away. I really didn't care if my TV would get taken away. There was just always something about needing to hear music, wanting to know all the words to the songs, just always wanting to be around music from very early on. And like I said, it would if I got in trouble and I heard the words like, you can't have your radio, it was devastating to me. How like now for kids these days, it's you can't, they take your cell phone away. For me, the radio was my safe haven. It was my serenity. It was my everything. So I never really cared about a TV. I still really don't care about a TV. I still care about my music.
And so just to kind of pile onto that, so you love music. It's been kind of your thing in life growing up. And then you became a producer along the way somehow. How did that happen?
So I always wanted to, but I guess it hit me one day. So Dwayne Stevenson, who I did produce the 2 songs with, I was in Jamaica and we were driving down the road in Jamaica. And I don't know what it was. One day in the car, I looked over at him and said, "You should sing Let It Be." And we kind of joked about it and we laughed and said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll do that." And I'm like, "No, I really think you should." And I never really thought about me actually being the producer of it. And then maybe 6 months down the road, I said it again. I'm like, there's just something about that song. I don't know why I keep talking about it. And he said, "If you're serious, I'm in." And I said, "You know what? I want to do this." And I felt like he was somebody who I would find easy to work with and who could actually help me navigate through some of the things, being that I was a rookie or a novice, whatever you want to say. I just, I figured he could show me the ropes, and then the people that we could incorporate into the project could also show me the ropes. And that's really basically what happened. And then I said, "All right, I'm coming to Jamaica. I'm going to come in December." It was December of 2017. We started and I went for 2 weeks and we went in the studio several times in those 2 weeks. And we weren't quite finished when I left. And when I heard it after they started to, do their magic on it, once I was gone, there were some things I didn't like about it. And I went back a few months later. And that actually also ties into some TR actually, but that's really not the question. So I'm not going to actually branch out any further into that, other than Dwayne felt like the right person. And if I had to do it all over again, I would still do it again. Same way. I don't regret the choice of him being the first person for me to produce. I'd still love to work with him again. The only thing I would do differently is I maybe would make certain decisions about the production differently now that I feel like I have a bigger voice about it. I was a little bit more timid. I didn't want to upset anybody. And so towards the end of the production is when I really got more of a voice to say, "No, I don't like that. And no, I don't want this." And I said, "You know what? I'm paying for this. And I really should be able to speak."
You're the producer.
So,
that's what your job is. But sometimes that's hard to take control like that.
I was trying to be nice. And I started to realize that I can be nice, but I can also be firm, So if I did it again now, I would do a couple of things differently knowing now what I really didn't know then.
Would you do it again now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, very much.
So what would that take? Finding a right artist and the right project to work on?
There's a couple, like, actually, believe it or not, Noré, his brother, who came on last week and the week before. TR and I always used to, talk about doing something together. And I always said to him, the next person I would want to do something with would be Noré. Something about him, not because they're brothers, but just because they're just a different talent. And I can see him on the radio. That's kind of when I feel a song or I feel a voice and I can picture it on the radio, that's where my vision starts.
Absolutely. That would be awesome to hear more works from SF Rose. And now,
Hopefully soon.
now TR, I'm going to hit you up with one here. And this one is a little deeper than what we've been talking about before. But if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Was that question for me?
Yes, that's for you.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This is always a tough question because there is so many things that I would love to see a change in right now. But if I could change just one thing in the world, I would eliminate hate.
That would be nice. That would be great. I think it would be a much nicer place to live around here
Oh yes,
if you could
all
do
love.
that. Absolutely. It's what it says right there, all about love. So I'm right there with you. That's a good answer. Good answer. And then SF Rose, are you getting more comfortable with going live?
No.
I already knew the answer to that.
No. It does, like I said, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't really feel any easier. I feel like with like StreamYard, now having the wheel tonight, I honestly don't know how people look like it's so easy all the time. Like even you, Tommy, when you're doing your wheel, when TR's done the wheel, like I know that TR did it one time and it was his first time, but I never really remember because I don't remember him struggling. Like, I don't know. For me, I just always feel like I'm still in the rookie status and I don't see myself busting out of it anytime soon.
Well, I think part of that is that when you go live, like every day or like every other day, like I do, TR does maybe multiple times a day, it doesn't take long to kind of figure out, okay, this is how the wheel is done, and then kind of get it smoothed out. When it's once a week, it does take a little bit longer. But I do want to say, though, that I think that you're being too hard on yourself in a lot of ways, is that you think that this isn't what I do, this isn't my thing. You've got some idea that you're not doing things right. And you're putting on some great shows with Dwayne Stevenson and Noré and the performances and bringing people up on the panel. And you're getting a lot of people in your lives and generating a lot of interest. So even though you don't think that you're comfortable with it or being to where you think you need to be, I just want to let you know that according to all of us that love you, you are doing fantastic.
Well, so I thank you for that, but I can honestly tell you that even today, TR said to me, you have to sign in on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, where do I do that?
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna bump in for a second, and people who weren't here in the beginning, there's going to be possibly one or two or maybe three, depending, giveaways later in the show. As I explained before, it's like a lottery. You have to be in it to win it. $5 gets your name on the wheel. Each increment of $5 gets your name on the wheel. However, so like Tommy Travels has his name on the wheel 20 times for what he put up on the curtain. In the end, as I said, what the rules were, you have to have PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. to win. If you're in Jamaica and you win, it would be if you have PayPal or Digicel. And you do not have to be here. If you win, you don't have to be here. I will get in touch with you after the show. And that's really it. I'm just saying that maybe even Tommy at some point after a couple of questions, if you want to shout it out so I'm not constantly interrupting you.
Oh, sure.
And give them an idea as well if you could help. Just in general, that's basically what we're doing. And I'll probably do the wheel closer to the end. I'm going to say more towards 9 o'clock. And I keep saying,
And look at that. Angela M coming in. Angela M. Holy cow.
Tommy, it looks like you're
Go Gadget Super Chat.
Tommy, either you or Angela looks like you're going to win tonight. And Aisha has one spot on the wheel. She cash shopped earlier. So
okay.
That's where we're at so far. And I'm going to eventually at some point add the names to the wheel as it gets a little bit further down. But if you can help me with that, being that I'm still not like
you're totally comfortable. You're fine. You're wonderful.
All right. Go ahead. Ask some more questions.
Okay. And so here's a let's see here. Here's an interesting one for you, SF Rose. How do you handle TR's fans, especially the pushy females?
Wow. Okay. Oh God. I guess I could say in it. So I try to be a little bit better about it now. And I try to turn a semi-blind eye to it because there's no point. There's still going to be the people who don't care that I exist. People know I exist, but don't care anyway. But I will say sometimes he doesn't help it either as he's sitting there whistling. So with that said, I'm going to just actually stay with the answer of I try to turn a semi-blind eye to it. If it gets to the point where it's, to me, really disrespectful or it really hurts or bothers me, then I'll talk to him about it now.
Yeah.
I try to reason a little bit and say like this bothered me or I really don't like the way this person is it's uncomfortable. So I try to discuss it a little bit. That's how I do it. I don't love it, but I know it's never going to go away.
Yeah, I think it is one of those things where it's a fine line between TR has to run a show and be, inclusive with all the people and be an entertainer and make everyone feel welcome and loved and all of that. But on the other hand, there's people that think, oh, this is real life. This is, we're really connecting here in ways beyond what is really happening. And I think that that's a fine line to figure out. So I think you're probably on the right track. If it really bothers you, if it's something that's really saying, oh, there's a red flag there, I need to address that, then I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then everything else, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. I think that's probably the best way that you're doing it.
Yeah, like I said, there's always going to be some who don't care. They just pretend, try to pretend that I don't exist. And I don't know. Sometimes I deal with it better than other times. Sometimes I have thicker skin than other times. I do the best that I can. And maybe that's not enough sometimes, but that's just what it is right now. So
well, maybe it'll help a little bit now that you are becoming more visible than you used to be. Because it was months that I was coming in before I even saw what your face looked like. You were invisible. So a lot of people didn't know that you exist. You were another name in the chat in a lot of cases. And so you're becoming more visible, I think maybe that'll help. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. But, there'll always be the couple that don't care. But
Yeah.
on to the next question.
Okay, let's move on. And so let's go to TR here. What got you into music, and do you listen to any types of classic music?
Can you do that question again, please? Thanks.
Sure. What got you into music, and do you listen to any type of classic music?
Yes, I listen to every type of music. I listen to classical music, every type of music. As long as it's music, I listen to it. I even listen to silence. So that means I listen to every type of music. Um, what got me into music was the inspiration of, I was always thrilled when I used to watch the guitar player at church, because at the church that I was raised in, there was only a guitar player. There was no keyboard, drums, or whatever. There was just one guitar player, and I was just thrilled by the sound of the guitar. Those strings and the sound of it seemed to speak to me at a very high level, and for some reason, it resonated with me so strongly that I would, go home and reminisce about it. I would be mocking the guitar players by using a sardine tin or a herring tin, and make my own little guitar and play. But one night, something strange happened. I went to my bed and had a dream that I was playing a guitar. And when I got up the morning, I was so sad that it was a dream. But then I walked into the church. I took some pane windows, some of the window pane, they used to call it. I took out slides of the windows, walked through the window, going to the church, and got to the guitar and imply to the guitar what I saw in my dream. And to my surprise, it was all real. So then I realized that my dream wasn't necessarily just a dream, it was actually my reality. So then that was exactly how I started out in music, or being an instrumentalist.
Wow, that's an incredible story. Holy cow. That is really neat. So it's literally a dream come true for you.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That is awesome. And then, SF Rose, how did you develop an affinity for the Caribbean?
Um, so growing up, whenever it got cold here, we used to always migrate, like Christmas break, spring break, as a family, to the warmer weather. Then when I went to college, we would go spring break to the warmer weather. I've always just loved being in the warmer weather. But there was something about Jamaica for me. And my first trip to Jamaica was in November of 2000. And I don't know, there was something about the trip when I first got there that I didn't like. And I thought that maybe I should go home. But I said, let me give it a day. I'm tired from traveling. Let me wake up in the morning and let's see. And I was there with a friend of mine, and we were there for just 5 days. By the third day, I wound up just having such a great time. I have to say, the people, very, very, what I noticed from a lot of the people in the Caribbean, for me though, especially Jamaica, they are very warm. They make you feel like family. There are some that I don't appreciate, but that's never, some of that'll never go away, when they just see that you're from America, and they see maybe an opportunity. But all in all, they make you feel very comfortable. Just excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. They just make you feel loved. They like, when I used to get off the plane, there would be people at the airport who remembered me. They would say, welcome back. Just little things like that go a long way. And I've always said it's always the little things that matter. And for me, it just always seems that wherever I wind up in the Caribbean, the people are just so warm and welcoming. And it's not like that here. I'll say in the tri-state area where I live, the people are a little rough, around the edges a little bit. So when you go to the Caribbean, they're just very, very warm, and they really, really do make you feel special. some maybe have a motive, but most of them don't. And if you get, around the right people, like I said, when I go there, I feel like it's just my home away from home.
Mhm.
Like I have people, I get an apartment. I don't even go to a hotel anymore. I get an apartment. I invite people over for dinner and I cook for them. And it's just like family. It's just, so for me, it's like I said, it's like a second home.
That is amazing. And I actually have been to Jamaica once myself. It's the only country outside of the United States that I've been into. And I went to Montego Bay and just had a blast. And the people there were great. And so
Yes.
I totally see where you're coming from there. And I want to shout out a couple people. Bridget C. Bridget C, thank you so much for the super chat donation. And that's going to be 5 entries, $25 into the pot there, as well as Sandy K with $5. There you go. Every time you give $5 or any increment of $5, $10, $15, every $5 gets you an entry onto the wheel for a drawing that's going to be coming up later. We don't know too much about if it's going to be one drawing or multiple drawings, but you need to get your super chat activated in order to be on the wheel. So just to let you know, guys, what's going on in case you're just coming in, there's going to be a drawing for those super chats, and that's how you get your name on the wheel. And so now SF Rose.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with SF Rose?
My name is actually not Rose. So everybody who thinks my name is Rose out there, it's not Rose. So the first initial of my first name starts with an S, and my middle initial is F. And it's not San Francisco, because many people ask me are you from San Francisco? No, from New Jersey. So I guess it really doesn't matter anymore. My first name is Sherry. My middle name is Faith. And part of my last name, maiden name, is Rose. So that's how SF Rose came about.
Nice. All right. Well, mystery solved, Sherry.
People always call me Rose and I just answer.
I'll bet this family, do they all call you Sherry, or now that you've been going by SF Rose? How do you guys do that? Like, TR is Duke. We know that. And so.
Not really anymore.
You're not supposed to know that, Tommy Travels. Where did you get that from?
Oh, because it's part of some of the questions. I had to put parentheses and say TR.
Yeah. Plus, I've been around. You had a birthday cake with your name Duke on it, and so it's been public information for a while.
Okay.
And so, so is it basically like your close friends and family? They all call you by your given names, and then anybody associated with YouTube calls you by those, or is it starting to spread into friends and family too?
Well, like in the house, sometimes I look at him and I'll be like, TR, and I'm like, am I really calling him that now? And then every now and then I'll be like, Duke, stop. Like it's weird now because TR has just become like the household name. And when I'm talking to certain people, like recently, I was messaging somebody in the music business that TR has worked with before, but they know him as Duke. And I messaged him and said, yeah, well, TR has a show. And they're like, who's TR? I'm like, oh, Duke. So it depends, like, and it's weird sometimes, but even like if I'm talking to somebody on YouTube, I feel weird. Like I'll be like, if I'm calling someone, I'll be like, hey, it's SF Rose. Like it's weird because not everybody, they just know me as SF Rose. So
You're right.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but like I said, actually, my name is not Rose. It's Sherry, middle name Faith, and I do struggle sometimes to call Duke TR or TR Duke. It really just depends.
How about vice versa? Does he call you SF Rose? Does he have the same problem?
I call her SF Rose when I feel like it feels natural to me to say SF Rose, whether I'm here, there, or wherever. So I call her SF Rose most times.
That's cute. That's very cute, you guys. Now we are moving on to the questions for both of you. And so some of these are a little bit deeper, like this first one. If time were to stop at this very moment, where would you be and who would you like to be with? I guess
would
if
we wanna
time
be
were to
with?
stop at this very moment, we'd be right here. But, you know,
So I guess it means basically if time stopped at this very moment and we could pick
yeah, the moment. If time
the
were to
moment of
stop,
where we would be or who we would be? What would
yeah. So where would you be and who would you like to be with if you could stop a moment at any moment in time, let's just say?
wow. You go first.
This question for me is going to be kind of hard. If you would have to be more specific with the question, like since we've met, because if you're going to put from ever since I was born, probably I'm going to love the day when my daughter came.
Oh,
That moment was special. So you would have to say, you'd have to be more specific by saying, I enjoyed no during the time of SF Rose, if the time should stop,
mhm.
because it's hard to choose sometimes between some situations. When my son was born, that was a very special moment for me. I would not want to choose between that moment and having dinner at the diner with SF Rose, or these are the things. So
Okay.
it's hard. It's really hard to answer a question like that.
I'm going to make a call here. Let's say it's a future moment.
Yeah, that's
Not
more like it.
past. Yeah.
That's more like it. So a future moment. Um, this one is also a hard one. I have some dearest people to my heart, including my last daughter. I think she was born with a part of my heart. So if time should stop, and I would want SF Rose to be wherever time stopped, and I would not want to not have my daughter right where time stopped. So I would want my daughter to be there as well. So I couldn't necessarily choose one person to stop with time. I would want to choose at least two people. I would like
Mhm.
to choose maybe three, four. But
You
if
could
I had,
choose however many you want.
pardon me.
Where would you be? Where would you be? And who would you want to be with? And you could choose as many people as you want.
Okay. If time should stop, I would want to be by a place where the water would be running. So maybe by the river, but by the beach, or anywhere there will be moving water. So um, I am kind of strange, and I like strange areas. Um, so I like nature. Anything that has to do with nature. So even if I was stuck in a forest, that would be fantastic. If I was stuck by a lake, by a river, by the beach, I would be fantastic in anywhere like that.
Unless SF Rose wasn't, then she'd be, why in the heck did you stop time here out in the middle of the woods?
Well, actually, I actually for me, I almost felt like I could have answered this question for TR and be accurate in saying that his last daughter, and I would not be offended if that was his answer. I would almost expect that to be his answer because since I've known him and I've been around him, um, I've been around him with her, his daughter that was just here, his son. There's just this different energy and vibe that comes with this child where it literally, he describes it best, that he believes she was born with a piece of his heart right out of the womb.
Mhm.
So for me, it was a no-brainer when I saw that question. I felt certain that was how he would answer, and again, I would never have been offended. For me, my answer would be with him and the kids, because for me, to see him around his children, like you see like the goofy side of him, you see like a serious side of him, You don't get to see him like in action with his children. He could be away from his children for 6 months, and the second they see him or they speak to him, you could feel that he lights up their life.
Yeah.
So when you say absence makes the heart grow fonder, it certainly does with his kids. And they look at him like he's an idol. So for me, it's easy for me to say that if we could pick like a package and have him with the kids by the water, that would be perfect. That would be
So
my
kind of the same for both of you then. Same answer pretty much for both. Kind of a package. Or what would you add
Yes,
anything
I know,
to it?
but I do know that if it wasn't a package that we could pick, he would probably pick
Yeah.
my last daughter. And I would expect him to answer that way. And like I said, without me being offended, because there's really nothing more attractive than watching a father with their children and the love that they have for him. Not everybody gets that opportunity.
That's very true. And so what would your answer be to that?
And who would I
Like
wanna,
if you could stop time, what would your specific answer be to that same question?
just that, the same.
Same
Pretty
thing.
much
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, I'm speaking of the present. I
Mhm.
don't know if you were to ask me before him, maybe the answer would be different, but we're talking about today. And today, if I got the opportunity to be locked up in one particular spot with nowhere left to go, I wish it could be him with the kids. And
Yes.
if he could only pick one and it wasn't me, then I probably would just want to be at the pool by myself.
All right. That's something nice about that.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to force some other scenario if I know that's the scenario I would want.
So that one was a little bit deep. So let's shallow it out a little bit now. Would you guys ever consider moving, and if so, where?
Do you want to go first?
I just went first. You.
Okay, I'll go. Where I love living in New Jersey, I'm always up for considering a move based on the scenario. Would I maybe love to just live in Jamaica forever? If I won the lottery, yes. But that's not the case. So if TR were to come to me tomorrow and say, hey, we got this opportunity, or hey, you know what, let's just get a fresh start somewhere else. I would probably, as crazy as it sounds, I would probably want to leave the United States, although I've never left the United States outside of like the Caribbean or Canada. Like I've never gone to Europe. But I think part of me would say maybe New Zealand.
Ooh, that's a beautiful country out there. My
Yeah.
go-to would be Australia, I think, but New Zealand is second.
Australia is another for me, but if I'm like really trying to like weed it out, I probably would pick New Zealand first.
You can't go wrong with that. That's a beautiful country out there.
Yeah.
And how about you, TR?
Okay, for me, geographically, at any country, I want to be at a mountain type of area. I like hills. I like to go on the hills and look out on the sunset. And so, if there's a hill and there is water running in the valley, that's kind of perfect for me. But if I should choose a particular country that I would want to be, I actually love Jamaica, and there's only two things that I don't love about Jamaica. So likely, I would definitely want to live in Jamaica. But if I'm going to live in Jamaica, to enjoy life in Jamaica, a certain way you have to basically have a certain amount of money to enjoy life the way you would want to enjoy it, or else life is not going to be as beautiful as you would want it to be. So, Jamaica is for me personally is too hot in the summer, And if you can't afford AC in your homes, that can be very annoying. So I too love Australia and love New Zealand, but funny it is, funny it is that I have not gotten the opportunity yet to travel to either. Um, but overall, my preference is to travel. So I would not want to live at any one country all the way through. I would like to spend 2 months here, 2 months there, 3 months there, 6 weeks here. You know, I love traveling, so I would love to just keep moving.
Yeah, I agree. If you could have that, that costs as much money as staying somewhere. That's you got to have the money. But yeah, if you could have unlimited money to do that, that would be nice because then you could have the whole variety of every place going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to mention again for anybody new coming in, there's going to be a drawing coming up here fairly soon. Once the questions are done, or at some point, SF Rose is going to jump in and say, it's time to do a drawing. And if you want to be entered into the drawing, all you have to do is get your name on the wheel. And to do that, if you super chat $5 or anything, any increment of $5, 10, 15, 20, that will get your name onto the wheel. Every $5 increment will get your name on the wheel. So make sure that you get your name on the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. The wheel is getting pretty crowded, so you still have a chance to win. And so now, TR and SF Rose, how did you guys meet?
Oh, I lost them.
Is he still talking?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you guys meet?
You want me to answer? I went first before.
All right. So
Can I go on here?
Hmm?
Can I go here?
yeah.
Okay.
So we met at a cafe, restaurant type of vibe, a club, bar, whatever the name of that was. So I was doing a concert with same Dwayne Stevenson. I was the guitar player, and that's where we met. Was that the question? Where?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? That.
How?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was at a concert, and I was the guitar player at the concert, and of course, SF Rose was a business partner with Dwayne Stevenson, and so that's how we met.
Oh, okay. Now, who
So
does the cooking?
Dwayne was doing a.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
No,
go
you.
ahead. All right.
I said Dwayne.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Dwayne was doing a show.
He was doing a show in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually didn't like the band that was provided for him. They tried to give him like local people, and he kept saying, if I could get either a keyboard player or guitar player who's toured with me to come here, I'd rather do that so that they could lead the show and the other ones who are in the show could follow because they're terrible. And he kept saying, I think I'm going to call Duke. I think I'm going to call Duke. And then I'm like, do I know this guy? And he's like, I don't know if you know him. So he kept talking about this guy, Duke, nonstop. And then he wound up flying him in. So actually, he wound up paying with his own money to bring TR to this show. And we wound up meeting because I was like in the backstage area of the show, and I was actually just taking pictures and recording, and we wound up speaking, and the rest is history.
Oh, and now it's This Is Us.
Yes, it is.
And so, who does the cooking and who is the better cook?
Okay, all right. Let me bring this camera closer so you can see when I'm talking about this, because you all have to be aware of this thing here. Now, I would say it depends on what we're cooking. We are we're both good cooks in different areas. We both do the cooking. I don't put it on SFOs to say, she's the wife, so she has to cook and make my dinner ready every evening. If I'm hungry, I'm not going to go cry to her and say, "Hey, I'm starving." I'm just going to go ahead and cook if I'm hungry. So I cook particular meals because of how I was raised. I wasn't raised in a rich home where we had, variety of meals. It was basically the same meals every week, from chicken to fish, or, tin food or ground food. That's what we would be eating all week long, and it would just continue into the following week. So the same food. So I am not the type of person who can cook a wide variety of food. So the little that I can cook it very well. And SF Rose now is the type that will do the fancy food, the Italian dish, the Mexican dish, the whatever dish. And so SF Rose right now, I would say, is the better cook. Why? Because she has now learned how to cook Jamaican dishes. So now she can cook all the different dishes, Mexican, Australian, Zimbabwean, all the different dishes she can do, because she's the type of person who will go online and get the recipe and get things together and get things going. So she's definitely the better cook right now. It's not because I can't be the better cook, but I refuse to be the better cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just like to make what you want to eat when you're hungry rather than go through the United
yeah.
Nations of
What I will
food
say-
menus.
What I'll say here is, until the last sentence, he actually answered that very well. That's how I probably would have answered, because there are days where there's certain things I think he cooks better than me, and there's certain things that I probably cook better than him. And there are times where he just cooks something and that's what we're having for dinner. And then there's times where I just cook. It's not really like he said, you need to cook tonight. It's not like that. I do probably cook more nights out of the week than he does, but it's not, I don't mind it. I actually enjoy it. And I do like to look up recipes, and I do like to see if we can find different things to eat. But in general, he definitely cooks certain dishes that are just his staple dish, that I'll say to him, like, "Hey, can you make that chicken tonight? I'm really craving your chicken. Can you make the soup? Because I like your soup better." And then there's certain things that I make. So it really is, I feel, a 50-50 based on he's great at the dishes he cooks and I'm great at the ones that I cook, and we don't really battle it out. Sometimes I'll just say, "I really don't feel like cooking. Can you cook something tonight?" And he does. So
And just to add to that, there is something that happens in this house. Both of us are very picky eaters. So it's funny that some of the things that SF Rose eat, I don't. And some of the things that I eat, she don't. So it makes things a little bit harder for us sometimes. But then it is also very easy because she's aware of what I don't eat. I'm aware of what she don't eat. Some of the food that I can cook for myself, it has to be a one-away dish that evening, because when I'm finished cooking, she won't be having any. As long as it has to do with anything that is from the sea, fish, crabs. Well, I don't eat crabs either, but she's allergic to seafood, so she can't do seafood. I do fish, so um, and she will cook the fish for me, but she will not eat it. So if I'm having fish, it's just for me. And there are some things that she will eat, and I am not a lover of it, but I'll just watch her eat it. So um, the picky part of it is a next story. It takes us to another dimension of being a family in the same house. Sometimes we have to have two pots on the fire at the same time, cooking dinner for both of us, because there's going to be one for her and one for me.
Well, I think a lot of couples are like that, where one's on a diet and the other isn't, or the one's allergic to something and the other isn't. And I think there's a lot of that goes on out there. So I think that's completely cool. And it's nice that it's not just one of you that's in doing all the cooking or anything like that. You both seem to have it worked out really well. And that's sweet. That is very sweet. You guys, you're getting me a little misty.
Actually, I have to say he's actually he's pretty good about that stuff. He is. Every now and then, like I usually give him options because sometimes I like to have like maybe 2 or 3 ideas so that one of them is usually gonna work. I'll say, hey, you want salmon tonight, and he'll be like, oh no. I'm like, you want soup? Like I'll ask certain things, and then sometimes I just don't bother asking because sometimes it's better just not to ask and to just actually say, I made this tonight.
Yeah.
Growing up, you didn't get options. Whatever you were given, you ate.
So, who is the voice of reason in the relationship?
He is. I can answer that quick.
Okay. We'll just go with that.
He definitely is. There's many times it's funny that someone actually used those words. I forgot who actually sent that question. I have it written down, but I had to use that tonight because those words are words I actually go to him with. I'll say, listen, I'm like, I just need you to be the voice of reason right now. Like I will come to him with those words when I need something's bothering me or something's just on my mind. I will literally come to him and say, okay, listen, I need you to be the voice of reason right now. He's hands down by far. I can't even take any percent of that. He's the voice of reason. If he needs me to be a voice of reason for him, if he's having a situation, but he handles situations probably better than me. His skin is a bit thicker than mine. So in general, I can easily say, hands down, he is the voice of reason.
Well, that brings us to this next question, which kind of ties along in with it, because this should be, I'm expecting this to go a certain way because of the previous answer that you just gave. Who has the quickest temper?
Me.
That's what I figured.
Me personally, I don't think it's terrible, but I might get a little bit more like my frustration level. Like you probably, when you were backstage, got to witness a little bit of, I just get a little bit more stressed out. So I might get more of like a snap, maybe like a little bite to my comments, where he's a little more mild than
and
me.
the voice of reason.
Yes, he's mild and the voice of reason. Although, like I said, I don't get real loud all the time or anything like that, but I will be not.
Did you just say all the time?
I do not. Tell them.
Guys, a lot of people, I wish Amy was here. A lot of people thinks that my voice is loud on my live streams. You would love to hear SF Rose's voice all the time. My voice is nothing comparing. My voice is loud. SF Rose's voice is piercing. She can literally rip you in 2 halves with the sound of her voice. Yeah, believe it or not.
He could rip you in 2 halves with no voice.
That might be true.
That's worse. That could be worse.
Are you talking about farting?
Oh my Lord.
And so, what do you value most about each other?
Go again with that.
What do you value most about each other?
Okay. Go ahead. There's a question for you.
I answered the last 2.
I value the most about her drive to do whatever she sets out for, her preparedness. She goes hard for whatever she wants, and she goes all the way in. So what I do like most is that she goes all in, head, toes, feet, heart, hair, everything goes into whatever she's doing. There's not gonna be one foot in, one out, or one hand in, one out. Her drive and passion for doing whatever she's gonna do. That is the thing that I admires a lot.
I could see that. I can totally see that, what you're talking about. And how about you,
So,
SF Rose?
say the question again.
What do you value most about each other?
God, I wish I can say more than one thing. I will say his ability to, oh God, there's a lot. You only value one thing?
No, yes, one thing.
Oh. Well, he's pretty driven as well. So I don't want to use the same answer though. So I'm going to say that I value his patience and his, well, now I'm going for 2 and 3. God, some of these questions are hard to just answer with one answer. You know what? I can say TR said back in, you started YouTube April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back in April of 2019, when he started this YouTube journey and I was not for it. I remember him looking at me and saying, I'm going to make money on YouTube. It's a job. And I looked at him and I was not buying it. And I would listen to him, and it literally caused massive problems because I just still didn't understand any of it. And there was zero communication about it. And I went in with the mentality of, if you can't beat them, join them, because he was serious. So again, he was driven, he was serious. And it was literally, it wasn't that he looked at me and said, you know what, you're not for it, so I'm going to stop. He in his mind, he knew that what he wanted, and he went for it. And look at him now. So, like I said, there's a twist to it because he was patient with me, because it could have really ripped us to shreds. And instead of him letting it rip us to shreds, we talked about it some more. And he, like I said, I had more of the hothead and he was more of the one calming down. So I would say I love the fact that he is driven. He does go hard for what he wants. He's very patient and tolerant, because there's a lot of people out there who would sink to the bottom of the ocean, to the bottom of wherever they are. And this guy, I just, his strength, that's what I value the most, his strength.
There. Now we've gotten to the truth of what the answer is right there at the end. It took a while to get around to it, but there you go. The strength. And
Yes.
I think that's interesting how you both kind of value the same things in each other, because if you're the type of person that is driven and puts both feet in and goes for things all the way, I think that there's a good chance that you're going to be attracted to somebody that does the same thing rather than
They say
somebody.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That is correct. I totally agree.
I'm going to interrupt for a second, and I'm going to actually, I don't know if everyone is still in here, because that's another thing I have yet to master with going live, is to actually see everyone in the chat and actually answer people by typing, because I'm a little bit challenged on that still. I'm a fantastic multitasker, except just not on YouTube. So I want to thank a few people for sharing me out. And when I say a few, I mean a few. Mrs. Morrison is not here, but she was in TR's chat earlier, and she's in the UK and said that she probably would be sleeping, but she did share it out. Savvy One 619 shared me out. Thank you. Greg Manley, thank you. Triple Do Scratcher, thank you. And ASMR Galore, thank you. those are the ones who have shared me out. I thank the ones who took the time to do that for me. Back to you, Tommy.
All right.
I just want to take the time out as well to thank the TR Show for sharing out the stream. It is not in the notifications, but if I may just jump over here for a quick moment. No, I don't need to prove anything.
No, you don't. I'm just saying. I'm just reading off what are on my notifications.
I know. I just want to make sure, guys, because I want to sleep well tonight. So I want to make sure that I announce my sharing of the stream so I can sleep well tonight. You know what I mean? All right. So with that said, I want to say thanks to you guys as well for those who participated in sharing the stream, and for those who participate in lingering in the chat for the time that you have. I want to say thanks to you as well.
Absolutely. And also, I'm going to just mention this one more time. There's going to be a drawing a little bit later. You can get on the wheel by super chatting. Every $5 that you put in will get you a spot on the wheel. And so we don't know if there's going to be one or multiples, but that's going to get you your spot on the wheel. And so the next question, TR and SF Rose, what everybody wants to know, inquiring minds want to know, who is the funniest in the relationship?
You're looking at him right now. Oh my God.
Wait, I'm going to interrupt in the middle of the question. Let me actually reiterate. When I say I'm thanking people that shared me out, I'm saying based on the notifications that I see currently on my phone. That doesn't mean somebody didn't share me out. I'm just saying that's the only notifications that I have been given by YouTube. So someone could have shared me out, but maybe they didn't tag me. I don't see any of that right now. I only see the ones that I was actually mentioned in. So I thank anybody who has shared me out, but I'm just simply stating, just like when people go live and they get their notifications, they're reading it. And Carter Club, I'm not even talking about Twitter at this point. I'm only talking about the community tab because I was just in my phone with the mentions. So in general, I thank anybody who shared me out. And that's literally where I was going with that. So TR will sleep well tonight. I'm just saying. So I just wanted to say that because it was on my mind and I just needed to put it out there. So just in general, thank you to anybody who has shared me out tonight, any in the past. And if it's on Twitter, I haven't looked over there. So thank you. So in the question, TR says he's the funnier one.
Yes. He's saying that he is way funnier than you.
He says way funny. I don't know about that. You know what? He's more of a entertainer and a showman and more a character, whereas I'm funny too. No?
Yeah, you are. But that was the question.
You think you're funnier than me?
Yes, I don't have to ask that. I think my very expressions are funny.
All right. Well, all right. You know what? You got to pick your battles. I'll let him have this one.
Well, just judging from the videos that you put out, SF Rose, he makes you laugh pretty darn hard a lot of times.
but wait a minute. Remember all right, you know, it's kind of unfair in a way, but I'm still gonna let him have it. I'll let him have that one just because we're funny in our own ways. There's many times where like he sets me up. And so you'll see me like dying of laughter, but he makes it, you know what? Fine. He's the funniest one. Whatever.
And so
Sandy K, I'm going to interrupt you because Sandy K has a question. She in the chat. She wants to know who has the most gas. TR, answer this properly.
So I would say, I would personally say that SF Rose has the most guests, but mine is heard the most.
Wait, so listen, the bottom line is, if I don't care who you are, a guy or a girl, I do not care what your gender is. Everybody does it.
Yeah, no question about that.
So if anybody tries to sit there and be like, oh my God, you're lying. You're lying. You know that you do it. Everybody does it. So yes, I have done it. Maybe I don't think I just walk around and voluntarily do it like TR does, but yet I do it. Maybe it slips out in my sleep and whatever. So what? It happens.
Yeah, a little bit of
Derek C. Williams is in here. ... It happens.
And Derek C. Williams with the super chat, $20. That's 4 entries for Leonard Duke. For Leonard Duke. Yes.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
Leonard 4. Sorry. Yeah, he's very accurate in saying his is definitely heard more. His projects more. Because you know what? You know what's funny? In the video that I just put out, it appears that nobody heard me telling TR that I laughed so hard a little toot came out.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
but it's nobody seemed to know it. I admitted it. I said, because I was thinking it might even have come on the camera, but his was actually louder. But because I was laughing, and did you see? He got up and he walked away when he realized what I was saying, because I couldn't get it out because I was laughing so hard I couldn't get the words out. And then he got up, he looked at me, and he, kissed his teeth or whatever it is, kissed KMT, and got up and walked away. I said I was laughing and said I laughed so hard I gave a little toot. So it happens.
It happens.
I'm still a classy girl. Every now and then, you can't help if one slips out.
Well, this was funny right there. That you both were funny there equally in this question, so that worked out. And so now, this one is kind of interesting to me. Where do you see yourselves in the next 2 years, as well as the next 5 years, on and off of YouTube?
Okay, all right. If I may go first, in the next 3 years, I see myself with a bouncing baby boy, and in the next 5 years, I see us traveling to a favorite country or a country that we've always wanted to be in. So that could be either New Zealand or Australia. We should travel to those 2 countries within the next 3 years to 5 years. And of course, to my country that I want to go as well, I want to go to Egypt and one of those countries. So we're looking to do some traveling in 5 years, and yeah, that's about it.
Oh, my turn. So within the next 2 years, I see us on a much bigger platform. So, and that's kind of open-ended. So bigger platform as in, I don't necessarily know if it's going to be YouTube or going to branch out from that and really go a little bit more worldwide. But I also see him on a big stage and him being the act and not the guitar player performing with the artist. I see him actually being the headliner. And as far as the 5-year mark, I agree with him 1,000% on that. That's
Traveling.
definitely what I would say. Yeah.
That's sounds like a good plan to me. And
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. Maybe I'll meet you guys in New Zealand then, 5 years from now.
We would love that.
And then here's another interesting one. What attracted you to one another?
You want me to go first?
It doesn't matter.
I actually know how he's going to answer, but I'm going to let him answer it. For me,
Let me just go first. Her tattoo.
lie. You didn't even know I had one. Derek C. Williams said he'd love to go to the Mall of America. Well, you can, Tommy, don't you live near the Mall of America?
I do. I've got a whole bunch of adventures in the Mall of America. Absolutely.
Derek C. Williams is going to be coming to join you.
Absolutely. I'll meet you out there.
Shonda is saying that she hopes our farts will continue to grow on together.
Isn't that Celine Dion? Our parts will go on.
Yes, our farts will, not our hearts. For me, what drew me to him was it was like, I don't know if mystery is the right word. There was something about him, because when I actually first met him, we didn't talk right away. And then when we started talking, that's when I said, I still need to talk to this guy. So it was very, very smart. Very, very smart. So it was intriguing to me that I just felt like I needed more. And it had just so happened that I was going to Jamaica, believe it or not, that following month to work on the production. And the same exact day that I was traveling into Jamaica in one airport, he was traveling back to Jamaica because he had been out of the country. And he was landing the same exact day in a different airport. And both of our travel plans were booked before we knew each other.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So, yeah, but something about him, he has some presence that you get just drawn in. And like I said, it could be a combination of things, but just very, very, very smart. And I always used to say because he didn't used to speak a lot. And believe it or not, he still doesn't. He speaks on camera. And he could talk on camera for 5 hours. But that's not always the case off camera. So I always was thinking, how is this guy going to do YouTube? Because he's the man of few words is suddenly going to be the man of many words. Yeah. But he's built for this. He's built for it. But very, very smart. Very smart. This guy, I mean, some of the stuff that he amazes me every day with the knowledge. And I thought I was smart. Well, I am smart. I am smarter than he is, but you know.
That's not a question.
Well, if I may say quickly,
Derek C. Williams said, having met him, confirmed he doesn't talk too much.
I really don't talk a lot. Even when you see me on my program, I still don't talk a lot. I will tell you what happened to me on camera. On camera, it becomes a responsibility of mine. I've always learned to fulfill my responsibilities no matter what it is. If I'm going to be shooting, I'm going to be shooting my target for sure, because I believe in standing up as a responsible person for whatever you do. So when I am faced with a camera and it is my platform and it is my responsibility to entertain and or to present something to the people or to a people, then I'm going to take it as a job, as a responsibility, that it is my duty to not have dead air or to just sit in front of the camera looking at the people. That's not what the show is about. So That's where the talking come from. But overall, my mentality or who I am as a person, I am not a talkative person. So if you meet me in life, you might have to be begging for a few words. As it is for what the question was about was, or what attracted us to each other, I would say conversations. Conversations was what attracted us. Um, Conversation leading to me understanding and realizing that she's a very intelligent person. Her dots connected very well, and that was what led to um, other dots being connected.
Hmm. And so this question kind of goes along with that, with what we were just talking about being on camera and what attracted to you each other. Sandy K has a question from the chat. Did you think your proposal and marriage would be on YouTube? This is for both.
I had no idea that I was going to even get married. So I was running away from marriage for all these years, running away from it. I didn't want to get married. Married was not a part of my anything at all. And eventually, eventually, when I got together with SF Rose, um, I realized that I was too old to spend certain amount of time, and then eventually would have done the same thing. I said, may as well we just enjoy from now. May as well we just enjoy it from now because why would I? Because the relationship before this one, I was with the lady for 16 years, and that was 16 years of my life. And then I'm sure she probably look at it as a total waste. I would probably say, things should have gone differently or could have gone differently. So I wouldn't want to waste another 16 years of my life because another 16 years of my life, I'm going to be 113 years old. So with that said, I would not want to do that again. So, I had to just, make use of this union to not let it waste. So that was basically it.
How about you, SF Rose? Did you envision your marriage proposal being on YouTube?
Definitely not. Definitely
It's kind
not.
it's kind of funny how it went full circle like that, how you were totally against the whole YouTube idea, and then it turns out that you get proposed to on YouTube.
Well, it's actually funny too because we never in this relationship we never had an argument that was we've been together this long, what are we doing? For me, my answer, people would always say, do you ever want to get married, if you're in a relationship for so long? And my answer always is, I'm married to my relationship. Because if I'm in a relationship, I'm not looking to be with 5 other people. So for me personally, that was always my answer. I'm married to my relationship. So I was always fine. And it was never, like I said, we never, ever, ever had any kind of argument that had anything to do with, are you going to put a ring on it? Are we going to get married? It's over 2 years. Never. Never.
And now, with your relationship, whether you're married or not married, how do you balance life on YouTube on and off? Because you've got your real life and then you got YouTube and you're married together and you're on both. How do you balance that all out?
I would say it's very easy. Now it's very easy, and there's a reason for that. I don't want to say thanks to COVID, but COVID made that easy for us. Um, had it not been for COVID, then the balance would have been a little bit harder, maybe, because I would have been going out to different countries just the same like I used to. Because before COVID, my normal life was I would be traveling to a different country monthly or every 2 months or every 3 months. So I would be going to like say Europe for this particular summer. I was booked for Europe. So that means this summer I would have been in Europe as opposed to being doing anything on YouTube. And so YouTube has been made easy because of pandemic. I was mostly home, and when I'm home, I stay inside. I'm not the type of guy who party or goes to the street to have a drink or to go play games or to do anything. So
Mhm.
it makes life easy for us to balance because I'm always home. As a matter of fact, SF Rose goes out more than me. So she goes out, she comes back, I'm here. She goes to sleep, she's awake, I am here. She does what she does, and at the end of it all, I am here. So there is really nothing to balance. I'm just right here. So we are on YouTube together, and when YouTube is over, we are gone to bed together. We wake up and we have breakfast together, or we have lunch together, we have dinner together. So we're always together in the same place. YouTube together. It's totally balanced.
And if there is something that needs to get done, I'm more the planner. So I'll say to him, like, you need to get up at such and such a time tomorrow because we need to be here. He doesn't generally, in his mind, he knows he has a plan, but he'll always say to you, I don't plan for this, or I don't plan to do that. Where I will say, like, we need to leave the house by this time. So do I need to wake you?
All right. I'm going to tell you, probably SF Rose will be hearing this for the first time as well. Probably she don't understand, but I was always a weird kid growing up, and my plans don't really work. And I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't mean that I don't plan. I'm just saying my body and my mind get connected with anything that I think of. So if I think that I need to get to New York tomorrow at 9 o'clock, even if I set the alarm for 9 o'clock, I'm going to wake up 2 minutes to 9. Anytime I set my alarm for, if I set my alarm for 5 o'clock, I'm going to wake up 4:59 or 4:58. So because of this, I don't bother to write down or to say, all right, I'm going to get up 5 o'clock and this and that, because I just think it and it happened. So I've had this kind of powerful mindset where I think of something and it happened. And as a matter of fact, I've been saying a lot of things since I was a child growing up and watched them happening in my life. So because of this, I hate to say things because they just happen just the way I say it. So if I'm going somewhere, I just think of it and it's going to happen. So that's why I don't really put pencil to paper. And sometimes SF Rose wants to know my plan, but I don't have a plan like that. My plan is within my system that allows me to function how I need to function.
Mhm. So, what are your pet peeves?
With each other, you think is that the question, you think, or just in general?
It just says, "What are your pet peeves?" So you could do anyone you want.
Oh, wow. God, I have a lot. um, let's see. Oh my God. You go.
I don't know what a pet peeve is.
Like, what irritates you? Like, what could hop on your nerve? Like when somebody does something or you see something, like it always irritates you.
All right, I'm going to just answer for SF Rose because she doesn't want to say it. Everything about me hops on her nerves. So that's just basically
Not everything.
so,
No, not everything.
So TR is your
Oh,
pet
you're
peeve.
No, he's not really. You know what he does sometimes though? So like he'll eat something and he'll put the dish in the sink. And for some reason, it just struggles to graduate into the dishwasher. So I'm not, and the dishwasher and the sink are literally, I don't know, maybe like 2 centimeters away. So I'll ask him, hey, are you done with this? And he knows that's my little snarky way of saying like, why? All right, I'll put it in the dishwasher for you.
Okay. I will tell you about that, and I will explain about it as well. A lot of people don't know I don't get sick. I've gone to the doctor maybe twice since I was born, and when I go to the doctor, I don't go to the doctor because I am sick. I go to the doctor to do a checkup if I am sick, and so um, I don't normally get sick. Now, my way of life over the years is that I've done things normally. If I am going to do the dishes, I'm going to do it in the sink with the cloth and the soap. I'm not going to put it in the machine. I'm not a machine person. I'm a more manual type of guy who like to do things without the machine. So if it is going to go in the machine, then that is going to be SF Rose's job. Now, sometimes the reason why I'm going to leave a plate, a cup, or a spoon in the sink, sometimes I'm doing my YouTube networking while I am doing a little of that. So I will just pop a plate in and or a spoon or a fork and get back to my networking. Now it would have been done at the end of my networking, but SF Rose now she has always a lack of patience. She can't wait. So even while I am taking my last bite, she probably will be asking, "Are you going to put that away? Come on, give me a chance to at least finish what I'm doing and do it accordingly." She can't wait. So that's why she gets annoyed with everything that I do, as I said before. You see, I told you, I was right.
No, so listen. Another thing that he does, I'm gonna make this pet peeves about him. He leaves one square of toilet paper on the toilet paper roll. And wait, that also gets better. There's like 30 rolls of toilet paper. So when you're sitting on the toilet and you just move your right hand, you're touching toilet paper rolls. They're right there. It's not even like it's literally within arm's reach. Okay? And I'll go to the bathroom and there's one square. And he tries to actually justify it. There is no justification for that one square. And he even we had it on one of his live streams. He tried to show people some kind of project on how you can use that one square if you ever needed to.
The thing
Oh
is,
my God.
the thing is, I'm coming from a far way, and back in Jamaica, before I had things for myself, where I was raised, we didn't have the luxury of toilet paper. We used to use newspaper, leaves, trash. That's what we used early back in the days when I was a child growing up. So when I eventually could afford a roll of tissue, I would be so conservative with it. I have to go all the way until the last square is left. I'm not going to throw it away or take it away. Now, if there's a last square left on the roll, it's not done yet. It's not over yet. So it's for the next person to take that square off and then add another panel or square from the new one and make it into two and then use it. So that's what I think. And that's why, thanks, Amy, for the super chat, by the way.
Yes, that's
But-
2 entries on the drawing right there. Amy Knievel.
You know what else? You know what else he does? He has a collection of shoes everywhere. So like right now, let me look down and see. Did you take them out? Oh, wait, where'd the sneakers go?
Exactly, it's not there.
Finally. No, wait, finally. Because you usually get a collection. So instead of going into the closet for your shoes, just go out by YouTube and get your shoes. He's just he does things I'll say more staggered than me. Like I just like to, if I see something and like if I see the garbage, I just want to take the garbage out. I don't want to wait until tomorrow. He's just more laid back in his approach.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll say.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say one more time because we're winding down, getting towards the wheel. How much more left on the questions?
Oh, we have
Not
a
that
ton of
many?
questions, so you can decide to do the wheel at any time that you want.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I'm just going to give people a heads up that whoever was not in the chat or came in after we've announced it or missed any of the announcements, we have a wheel. It's a lottery. It's $5 to get in. $5 gets your name on the wheel once, any increment of 5. So if it's $10, your name goes on the wheel twice, etc. You guys can do the math. And we're gonna spin the wheel. I'm not certain how many, if I'm gonna give out just one big giveaway for one person, or if I'm going to do 2 or 3 smaller ones. So again, the rules are you can only win once. You can enter via Super Chat, Cash App, or PayPal. And if you win, you must have Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. If you win and you live in Jamaica, I will give Digicel or PayPal, with the possibility of your email address and maybe do an Amazon card. So that's basically where we're at. So probably in the next 15 minutes, I will see that all the names are on the wheel. It is, like I said, it's like a lottery. You have to be in it to win it. $5 gets your name on the wheel. And like I said, I haven't decided exactly what the prizes are going to be. But it'll be something nice. It'll be, more than anybody came here that you started with today. So with that said, you do not have to actually be here to claim it. In my opinion, if you've bought your ticket to the wheel, that secures your winning. So if you do in fact win and you're not here, I'm not going to say, oh, so-and-so won. Are they here? Are they here? You have a minute. Are you here? Let's spin the wheel again. I'm not going to do that. If you do win, you have the right to it because you bought a ticket, as I'll say. It's like a raffle. So I'm going to keep going now. Just I want people to know so that nobody feels that they didn't know about it. I'm not going to really cut it off until we're about to spin, because it's not going to be anybody who just came in off the street coming into a giveaway, because they have to actually pay into the giveaway. So with that said, Tommy, the floor is yours.
All right. Which one said I love you first?
Want me to answer?
Hmm?
He did.
Aw. That's sweet.
Not really.
Why not?
SF Rose have yet to say it.
That's not true. That's a
Oh,
lie.
come on.
He's lying.
So, do you have a honeymoon planned, and if so, where? Did you?
TR doesn't plan.
Oh, that's right. So, as a pros, I guess this one's for you.
Well, I don't think we have anything planned. And actually, we really haven't talked about that. Well, what I'll say is this. We actually want to have a reception first.
Oh.
And the reason why we were unable to do that is obviously we even had to do the whole thing via Zoom because of the situation.
Yeah.
So maybe in 6 months from now, if things change, maybe there can be an actual reception to be able to actually do it the way most people would have done it. And then, yes, I would like to take some little trip somewhere. I don't really care where. Actually, I do care. I'd like to go to Bora Bora.
Yeah. So the real answer to that, we have not planned the honeymoon or any honeymoon because we're waiting for this whole crisis to be over with. If it is not over, then I'm not sure how we can plan the honeymoon. We just have to just live the honeymoon right here and, probably just go outside and sit on the bench or something. But I'm not necessarily planning anything right now until the crisis is over because I want to enjoy what I am doing a certain type of way. So that's basically what's happening right now.
I'm going to say, listen, well, I got the PayPal, so we will add you to the wheel if you're listening.
Okay,
Carter
and
Club,
so
thank you. No, Carter Club, you know what? He's going to, he's going to say, and I actually have said it in the live streams, but he's going to say most of the time, Carter Club, when I say it, it's in a super chat. So he's going to say, I'm typing it. So he'll say anybody can write stuff. And I agree with him a little bit. Like I'm a better writer than I am into articulating those types of feelings. Okay, listen, well, we're adding you. But I have said it. So that's not true. And tell them that's not true because I have said it.
What is not true?
That I never said that I loved you.
So guys, the question was who first? I've been first ever since, so that means she has not yet said it yet. Until she's first, she has not said it.
Not true.
If you say I love you too,
move.
That whatever. When you tell somebody that you love them too, you have not said it to them. That's my personal belief. I'm not going to tell somebody that I love them because you tell me that you love me. So if SF Rose tell me one day I love you, TR, I probably just say okay. I'm not going to say I love you too, honey. There's a strong chance I will not say I love you too. I'm just going to say, all right, cool.
But I said it on my own time as well.
You have?
Yes. Duke.
Oh, okay. All right, guys, it has been seldomly.
Oh, okay. But there you go. She just told you.
I'm just saying maybe
wait
that.
a minute. Did I ever sit here and say that I say it all the time? No. But I have said it.
I'm saying,
yes.
I'm saying that's why maybe I have not remembered. Because
Lord have mercy. Trust me, you remember.
Okay, all right.
I would say that usually in a relationship, I feel like a marriage counselor, but usually in a relationship, there's one that's more the initiator of that, and the other is not necessarily the initiator. So usually it's, I love you. One person says that to the other, and the other one, I love you too. And so TR is the initiator, and SF Rose is the receiver of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I have said it. Like I said, but I don't like to say something that's very.
You mean that you don't mean?
Thank you, Sandy K. Thank you, Sandy K. I said it when you proposed.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to say I loved you.
I wasn't there. Sorry, Sandy. I wasn't there. I didn't hear it. I was in heaven.
In all my shock, in being shocked and everything, I still managed to say it.
And then let's see. Let's go to something a little funnier. Who is better at driving?
I am.
No, she's not.
He's the worst.
I will tell you, I will explain it and you will get it instantly as I say it, because I'm going to say it just like it is. SF Rose is the safer driver. It doesn't make her a better driver. She's just a safer driver. But I am the better driver. No doubt about it.
No.
Let me tell you something. I can reverse from here to New York. SF Rose cannot reverse for a mile, not even a couple of yards. Now, if you're going to be a driver, you have to be able to accomplish the full sense of driving in terms of anything that has to do with driving. You can't be a better driver than me if you cannot do all the things that has to do with driving more than I do. You see, I can drive on a road where there is only space for the wheels and still drive at 50 miles per hour. I would dare SF Rose to do that.
No, it's not like a competition. Yes, Carter Club, thank you. Duke, stop it.
Whatever.
He's the worst driver ever. Like literally, I mean, honestly, if there's ever a time that somebody's going to poop in their pants, it's in the car with him. Because first of all, I'm afraid that the brakes are going to like try him one day. He's testing the brakes for real. And the brakes are finally going to say, you know what? I'm tired of you. He goes like 1,000 miles an hour. He'll say to me, oh, so I start to hold on. Like I hold on to the door handle. I hold on to the ceiling handle like it's going to do anything for me. And he'll see me going to hold on and he'll talk about like the red lights. It's like literally he goes right onto somebody's tail. He speeds up to slow down. he just, I'm sorry. No, he's not the better driver. But yes, I'm the safer driver. And I'm sure that most people would rather be in the car with the safer driver than the one who's driving like he's a race car driver, but he's not on the raceway.
All right, I'm going to use two analogies to sum up this, and then we can move on. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I have a friend that is a very, very good jazz and blues, blues player. Now, I think he's the best blues player in Jamaica. Now, the thing is, he is not the best guitar player because he only plays blues really well. Now, I would turn out to be a better guitar player than him because I can play jazz, I can play blues, I can play reggae, I can play rock, I can play soul. So people would look at me as the better overall guitar player. Even though he does so well, he does it well in one department. The same for if you're going to get a job in certain areas, you need a certain qualification. So if you only filled out the two top qualification, then you're not qualified as whatever you're going to be operating. You have to fill out all the lines from 10 to 25 to 100. If you leave out some, you're not qualified. So I'm saying I can do everything that has to do with driving. Everything. If it has to do with driving, I can do it. Now, and that is what's going to make me a better driver. Now, when I say SF Rose is a safer driver, it just simply means that she won't take the risk that I will take. But I will get to wherever I'm going safely. I will not die. I will not crash. But I'm going to get there with you, holding on to somewhere. And as she said rightly, you might be wetting your pants when I'm driving because, my judgment is kind of, better with the roads.
Have either one of you been in an accident?
The better driver has to be the one in the accident.
I was in an accident.
I'm asking if either one of you has been in it.
The better driver has to be the one with the accident.
Listen, so wait. He doesn't even learn his lesson half the time because he keeps speeding like he's racing to get somewhere. Like literally, if you get there 10 minutes later, nothing is going to happen. He has a heavy foot. And he thinks it's funny when I go to grab and hold on. I literally want to just cry. I literally want to just cry in the car. It is not enjoyable. It is not enjoyable ever. Ever. And I don't care. I go the speed limit. And sometimes I go a little bit more than the speed limit, but I just coast because I don't feel the need to be in a rush because I just can't. I don't know. I don't like the way he drives. And I actually fear when he's in the car even by himself because I can't imagine. I know it has to be even worse when I'm not in the car. He flies down the road.
Okay, all right. Just one more thing before we close this particular topic. So, as I was saying about the guitar player, if he wanted to do jazz, he couldn't, and it's because he can't. Now I can play blues. Now it's always best to be able to do something and choose not to do it, as opposed to not being able to do it because you can't do it. And as I said, that is what separates the better, or that is what determines who is the better one. Because the things that I can do, SF Rose could not do it. But all the things that SF Rose do, I can do it. So, of course, I can slow down. I can drive 40 miles per hour and cruise and drive safe and be like that. But I dare you to drive 180 miles per hour.
No, I don't want to drive 180 miles.
You cannot drive
I'm not a race car driver. I'm not buying the car to see if I can get it to go as fast as it should.
Well,
so
let's just say,
why is there a speed limit of 55?
Why do the car able to go 180? Why should the car be able to go 180 but you never drive 180? You need a car that can drive 40 miles per hour.
Listen.
uh-oh.
So I want to understand something. So if you get in a car, then why do you slow down when you see a cop if you just think you can rule the road?
Because it's just respect for the law,
Oh,
not for
no, you're not
driving.
respecting the law because you're going double the speed limit.
I'm respecting the law, not the driving.
No, the speed limit sign says speed limit 55. Why are you going 155?
Because the car can go 155, you see?
And then he'll be going 155 and then he'll go to slow down. And like he thinks it's just one quick break is going to slow him down as we're basically going through the red light. Oh, that's another thing. Sometimes he doesn't see the red light. It's a red light.
All right, so guys, SF Rose is a talker, and she doesn't sit quiet for a minute, and sometimes she's disturbing my nerves, and it troubles my vision. You know, she's like, she's just talking away, and sometimes I cannot see because I'm like, "Ugh." And then while I'm doing this, the light is red, and I didn't see it because
Wait
I'm
a
like,
minute. For some reason, Carter Club, help me out here. SF Rose is being blamed. Angela, SF Rose is being blamed. As usual. Dude, accept responsibility for your actions.
all right, guys. All right, I will accept it. I will. We've conceded. All right, I've conceded. I am the worst driver here.
I would say TR is
Because
the better stunt driver.
Yes. Okay. You can see
Yes.
that'll work.
If you were talking about stunt driving, SF Rose wouldn't stand a chance.
Okay, all right. I'm going to tell you this one last thing before we move to the next topic, Tell Me Travels.
Okay.
So I got into a situation back in Jamaica where I gave my brother my car to drive without a license, and we were stopped by the police, and police took us both to lock us up. Now, my girlfriend at the time was a driver, and she would say the same thing, that she's a better driver. But guess what? Someone was called to take my car home because we were going to be in lockup for the night. Guess what? My girlfriend could not take my car home because my car was a standard stick shift. She could not drive it. So how does that make her a better driver than me if she only can drive an automatic car?
Yes.
I rest my case.
Okay. I'm not going to.
No. Listen,
That's a good
I'm
point.
going to rest my case on this one and say the bottom line is there's a speed limit for a reason. Right?
Yes, there is. There is.
Okay. So if we see a sign and we're driving and we're speeding a little bit, we see a cop.
It has nothing to do with driving skills. That's the point I'm trying to make. Breaking the law has nothing to do with your driving skills. It has everything to do with your mentality or your attitude in driving.
So you're the better driver because you go 155 miles an hour and you press on the brakes and like my head goes flying through the windshield.
I'm saying the skills of driving has nothing to do with the laws of the road.
Okay, you know
the
what?
skills is separate. Why do you think they're all right? I will go back to music since that's my specialty. There is the practical and there is the theory. Now, there are some people who is good on the practical, but some people that is good at the theory. If you only know the theory, you're not ready. But if you know the practical, but you know the theory, I'm saying it's two different things. The laws of the country is totally different because that's the observation of the law as opposed to the skills. The skills is just the skills by itself. Skills, full stop. Laws, different story. You see? That's what I'm saying. That's it right there. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, you're saying it has nothing to do with the laws or breaking the law when it comes to doing everything that needs to be done in a car, whether it's stick shift, parallel parking, or anything, driving 100 million miles an hour, you're better at that. SF Rose is saying, no. Driving means obeying the laws. To get a driver's license, you have to show that you can obey the traffic laws and go the speed limit and put on your turn signal and do all the right things. And in that way, she's probably a better driver when you take that into account. So we're talking about two different things, and you're both right. So I'm going to give it to both of you on that one. And so this kind of brings us to the next question. If you guys were playing the Newlywed Game, who would win?
Me.
No argument there, TR?
The Newlywed Game. What's the Newlywed Game? I don't know it.
It's like when they
Oh.
ask you questions about you and I. It's about us. Like, so what's his
I can-
favorite thing? You know, like they'll ask questions where you have to answer exactly how you would answer.
There's a reason why SF Rose can be that. SF Rose is more closed than I am. I am the open book, and SF Rose is the closed type. So SF Rose is certainly going to know more about me than I'm going to know about her. So yes, she's correct. She is, yeah.
And so let's see here. If someone gave you an envelope with the date of your death inside, would you open it and why?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
What do you have to ask? Just go ahead.
Yes, I would open it.
Why?
Just because. I don't really need the whole mystery of. I wouldn't mind if it actually. I wouldn't mind opening if it told me the date and even how, so I can plan.
That's right. You know when to max out your credit cards.
Yeah, my answer would also be yes. If someone was to give me an envelope with the date of my death in there, I'd certainly open it. I definitely want to know.
Then would you try to do something to change it? If it said,
I would not do anything to change the date of my death. I would do something to change how I live.
okay, that's a good answer. That's definitely a good answer. Now, here's another kind of a hypothetical one, too. If you had to give up the internet or showering forever, which would you pick?
Of course, the internet. I would give up the internet before you even finish the word.
That's my answer too.
When you say inter, I said, that's it. That's it. We're giving up the internet.
Yes, I would definitely give up the internet. I would definitely want to be able to shower.
Yeah. Whatever kind of fame you get on the internet, you'd want to do it from the privacy of your own home if you can't shower, that's for sure. You wouldn't want to make any public appearances, that's for sure. Big YouTube star, but they stink. Oh my god. Let's see.
Inter-shower. Did Mr. Johnny said inter-shower?
Inter-shower. Oh my gosh. If you could read one person's mind, who would it be and why?
Oh, sometimes I wouldn't mind reading TR's mind. He's got a lot going on in there. It's weird. I'm trying to make Commander Vlogs a mod, and I keep doing it, and it won't change him.
If it's for me, I'd love to read my mind because sometimes I don't even know what is going on in my own mind.
The same answer. I'd like to read my mind. I'd like to know what the heck I'm doing with myself here.
Exactly.
That's good. I was not expecting that as the answer. Let's see here. I'm going to just kind of scroll through and see which one of these that I've missed. Do you have nicknames for each other?
I don't.
Like Sweetie Pie, Baby Cakes, nothing like that.
No. I don't have nicknames.
No, I don't think so either for him. No, I just call him
Go ahead.
Duke. No, just the nickname he was given. Yeah. It's so weird. I'm trying to make Commander Vlogs a mod because he's getting lost in the comments. So watch. I go to make him a mod, add, and it tells me I've added him, and then he's not.
Well, he's just gonna be the way he is.
And he's in here, but he's not. Oh, maybe because it's top chat. Let me actually. Let me try it on here. See if it works. It's so weird. Yeah, no, though I don't have any like direct nicknames for him. Every now and then I'll joke and say Dookie, but it's not like a regular nickname.
Yeah. And so if you, oh wait, no, I want to go to this one. Did you guys meet Peter Lloyd?
That question is unfinished.
Did you guys meet? It says, ask how we met Peter Lloyd.
Okay, yeah. So someone asked the question. They wanted to know basically if we had met him on YouTube or how did we meet him. And actually, we know him separately. So I can say that I met Peter Lloyd back in 2001 in Jamaica. And he was performing at the hotel that I was at. So he's like they call them cabaret performers. So the hotel will have like someone who comes in and gives it, an hour show. And he was the performer for Reggae Night in that hotel that particular night. And he was friends with another guy that I was friends with. So I'd gotten introduced. And we kept in touch pretty much throughout all the years from 2001. Obviously, every now and then lost a little bit of touch, but always found our way back. But I knew Peter Lloyd way before YouTube. I knew Peter Lloyd way before I knew TR. And he was one of the first people, that I met in Jamaica, probably about maybe my third trip into Jamaica.
And how about you, TR? Did you know Peter Lloyd, or did you just met him through SF Rose?
No, I met TR before SF Rose as well. So we both know each other before we met as a couple. I actually worked with Peter Lloyd over the years as a guitar player. So I knew him long ago before I met SF Rose.
And so what would you say makes you, TR and SF Rose, a good couple?
What makes us a good couple, or should I say a great couple, is because we fight a lot. Not physically. We battle.
I hope not. Who's better at fighting physically in the ring?
I give her the better fighting because I'm not going to fight her.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away from her. So unless she chase me, then I'm not gonna be fighting her. So I am the one who will be walking away from the fight. And if she chases me, then I may have to put up a fight. But
after he instigates like 10,000 times, then he decides to walk away, leaving the fire blazing.
So you think fighting makes you a good couple? Is that because it puts it all on the table and then you can kind of deal with it?
I was kidding though. That was what make us a good couple. It's because of actually our compatibility in believing a lot of things. She believes into a lot of things that I believe into, and I believe in a lot of things that she believes in as well. She's a fighter, and as I said, that was the thing that attracted me to her. She is definitely a fighter, and she goes all out or all in. So being the fighter that she is, she's going to just keep going. So even if I was ending, she would have been going just the same. So and that is what makes us a great couple, because if I decide that it is over and I'm walking away, she would be going still and said, no, it's not like this. It's a two-way street. It's not just because you say done, it's done. I have to say done, and you have to say done. And when we both say done, then it is done. But if you say done and I am not done, then it is not done. So, that's what makes us a great couple. We do things together, not separate. I don't do this and she do that, or she do that and I do this. We both do this, and that's what makes us a great couple.
How about you, SF Rose? Do you agree with that, or do you have another version?
I agree with some of it, but I guess I want to make clear when he says fight, we don't have big all out wars every day. You know,
Mhm.
maybe I'll call them tiny little bickers. That involve maybe some snarky remarks on both ends. But we don't have huge all out brawls on a regular basis. You know, like that, like I said, they're tiny, you know, like I said, little bickers. I don't want people to think like that we are you know, like every day, because that's really not the case. You know, can we get on each other's nerves? Yeah.
All the time.
I mean, constantly.
Yeah, he gets on mine a lot. Because, like, if I say something that's maybe not so like the brightest thing to him, oh, he'll let me know it. But like, I could be sitting there, say, like eating, I don't know, like a bowl of cereal, and he'll say, "Are you eating?" No, what do you think I'm doing? Like he tries to push a button when no buttons need to be pushed.
So what really happened is that before COVID I would not be asking this question, but since COVID a lot of people has become cows and elephants and dinosaurs, and I'm concerned. I don't want her to become one. So every time she goes to eat, I will ask her the question: "Are you eating again? Are you eating?" You know, because I'd rather her to not be eating right now. You see what I'm saying? I want her to stay and remain how she is. I don't want to leave for 2 days and come back and she's like all swollen. I'm like, "Are you pregnant?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, you look like it."
Oh my God.
Well, he already told me I was fat and not the PHAT kind of fat.
When did I tell you that?
Like a little while ago. Are you getting fat? And I said, yes.
You know what I think?
COVID, there's just a lot of junk food and a lot of baking. You know, there's nothing else to do. So I cooked and I baked.
Yes. And that's
And I
what a
ate
lot
it.
of and you ate, cooked, baked,
And
ate.
I ate, yes.
That's right. I think that they say that you should marry your best friend in life, and I can tell that you two are best friends. And I think that is what if you had to ask me what I think from an outsider perspective, I would say that is what my answer would be. I don't think that you guys could spend the amount of time that you do together, doing all of the things that you do and having so much fun together, even though there's fights along the way and there's bickering back and forth and there's everything like that. But in the end, I think you're best friends and you love each other and you want to spend the time together. And that is essential to be a great couple, in my opinion.
I want to tell you this as you say that, Tommy. I agree with you so much, and there's something that I'm going to tell you now that you might never believe. In fact, I don't think anybody could believe this. Before we even had the thought of being a married couple, I actually, to myself, thought that SF Rose was going to be a better friend to me than anything else. I thought SF Rose was a better friend than a wife to me. I said, I think SF Rose could be my best friend for life, but I didn't think she could be my wife. And there's a reason for that. It's because I do have some philosophies that she's yet to wrap her head around. You know, I'm kind of, I want a word that would suit me very well. But some of my mentality is not something that she wants to live with forever. And some of the way she does things is not the way that I'm going to ever agree with. So, because it was going to be so hard to have these agreements, because as best friends, there are some things that you can do, but as a married couple, you have to eliminate those things. So when it comes on to, for instance, SF Rose don't like to see girls hitting at me, and I see that as not a problem. So that's not good for a relationship, but it is good for friendship. So SF Rose is actually a very good candidate for a best friend. She can be a best friend to anybody, but not anybody can be everything with SF Rose, if that makes any sense.
Hmm. That's very interesting. That's
Bridget said, best friends make great companions and excellent partners.
That I believe in.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? You know what
Mhm.
I'm going to say? With COVID busted up a lot of relationships because people were forced to be in such close quarters with one another. And for me, I don't think it actually did anything in the downslide for us. And we were definitely in close quarters all the time. And there was really nowhere to go. So, like I said, you read about a lot of people getting a divorce, couldn't make it through because of COVID. So all of a sudden you're forced to stay in your home with the person that you technically married to or engaged to or dating. And then suddenly you realized you couldn't make it work. To me, it's kind of comical, actually. But like I said, for us, I don't know. I don't think that we got on each other's nerves any more than a regular day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may have gotten better during COVID.
I think so too. I was afraid to say it though, because you were going to say, really?
No, we've gotten better since COVID because like SF Rose is the type of person when she goes out to work and comes back home, she wants me all to herself, and I am not that type of person. So that used to create a problem. So after a week is done and she's worked hard and she's tired and she puts work aside, she wants all weekend with me. For me, on the other hand, I feel like I've been with her all week, because even though she's going to work, we sleep together, wake together, do this and that together. So for me, I feel like it's one full week. But for her, she felt like it was a week of work and she has the weekend now. We should, just be us. And I thought it was us all this time. So, you know, since she's not going out to work and she's home all day and we get to do everything together, and you know we have less argument, so
Mm-hmm.
it makes things better for us since COVID.
But what I will say, since COVID, that doesn't mean that even though we're in the house together, so yes, when he's live and I'm there, and then after the live, I might be sitting there on YouTube as well, or I might be sitting there doing something by the computer, and he might be sitting and watching a movie, but I'm not watching the movie with him. So we don't technically spend time doing certain things together, but we're near each other.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I like him around. I like his presence. So.
There are some things that we can't do together. I personally don't like watching movie with other people who talks. SF Rose is more the talkative person who will take away. She will move away from the movie, talk about something, and still get the full essence of the movie and still understand the movie at the end of the movie. Me, if I miss one word from the movie, I feel like I miss half of the movie. I have to hear everything that they're saying. I have to see everything that they're doing. And so when I am watching a movie, I am in the movie. I am actually the star in the movie. So SF Rose distract those moments. So to watch a show together, I would have to watch the type of movie that she loves, and we both love total different type of things. SF Rose love a fighting show of like a reality fighting show. Those girls on hip hop and thing who's talking about, hey, it's you, oh, she loves that. I hate that. So we don't watch the same movies really.
And he
So I
likes
think
all the
we
movies,
found.
he likes all the action, shooting guns and scary and but he watches his movies every night.
Not every night. I just started watching movie 1 month ago when my daughter got here.
Every night for the past month, and
That's just 1 month.
I literally say, see you tomorrow.
That's funny. Even when you guys are fighting, it's cute. It's funny. You guys are great.
Well, literally, we will be fighting, and I'll be like, "You're annoying." And he's like, "You're annoying."
Let's see here. Let's take a look here. There's some of these that we've already kind of answered in the process of answering other questions, so I don't want to repeat. If you won $1 million, what is the first thing you would buy yourself?
The crazy thing is this is going to sound terrible, and I don't want it to. I don't mean it in a terrible way, but in this day and age, believe it or not, $1 million
Yeah.
isn't really that much.
It's not anything at all.
So,
let's say $100 million.
well, for me, if I got $100 million, I have in my mind a list of people that I would make sure I put them out of their misery, of whatever misery it is that they're going through, whether it be a job that they hate. I would want to leave probably the United States and take maybe 1 or 2 handfuls of people and live happily ever after. I would want to actually, I don't know, I would want to do a few things, but I would want TR to have everything that he's possibly ever wanted that just couldn't even fathom to get. I wouldn't probably spend it on myself first. I would spend it probably on him first and the kids.
Okay, but eventually you'd have to buy something for yourself. So what is the first thing that you would say, this is for SF Rose?
A nice little probably spot, maybe a couple different spots, like maybe one in Jamaica. Like I said, maybe something in another country. I would want anything probably, like I said, travel related that could make myself happy and the people that I love happy too. Because I would want to bring the people that I love, I would want them to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they didn't want to go where I was going, I would want them to be comfortable. So for me, I guess at the end of the day, if I really, the one thing I would want to be, if I could buy my health.
Oh, there you go.
If I could do something that could change that outcome, that's probably what I would do. If I had to spend it on myself,
Mm-hmm.
that would probably be what I would spend it on first.
Yeah.
But I'm usually not the one who spends my money first on me. I'm usually spending it on everybody else.
Yes, that I can see that. And I think TR is a lot the same way too. So what would you say, TR?
For me, everything that I would have bought first, if I got that amount of money, is going to have SF Rose in the mix. She's going to be right there in the mix. So that wouldn't be for me. So if I should cancel out all the things that I would buy first that has to do with her, then the first thing that I'm going to buy is a musical instrument. So I'm probably going to buy a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to buy something for me, it's going to be a guitar.
Awesome. And
actually, someone's asking if I had to lose one of my senses, taste, touch, smell, sight, or hearing. I probably wouldn't care if I lost smell. So I want to be able to see something. I want to be able to hear it. If I'm going to eat the food, I'd like to taste it. I think smell. I don't think I would care about smell.
You know what's interesting about that? I've known one person in my life that had no sense of smell. And that same person is also the only person that I've ever known that could just fart on command. You could say, "Hey, fart," and you go just like that. And he had no sense of smell. I'm like, oh my gosh, God has a sense of humor with that one right there.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think, like I said, those other senses that I'm, when I'm looking at them all, the other mean a little bit more to me than the smell. I'd rather lose none. Obviously, I'd rather have everything. So, but if I had to, lose one, I probably wouldn't really care too much about losing smell.
How about you, TR? Same?
It's crazy that those two are connected, and a lot of people don't know that tasting and smelling is actually connected. You can actually smell something and get a taste of it by smelling it. Like literally, I have tasted a bitter taste by smelling something that was bitter. There is a wood in Jamaica that is called bitter wood, and you can literally smell the bitter wood and taste it. So it would have been between tasting and smelling for me, but for some reason I think both is connected. So I'm not sure how one is going to work without the next, but it's going to be one of those, and it has to be one. Then it's going to be. I hate to say the same thing as this, which is smelling. So I'm just going to say tasting, is he?
And so let's see here. Let's see. Here's a good one. What is your biggest fear?
Biggest fear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that I'm not going to wake up.
Yeah, I can see how that.
So I actually struggle to sleep because of it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think that's because of your health conditions, or
Yes.
have you always had that?
No, I never had that. You put 2 for Peter?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's actually been excessive lately.
Mm-hmm.
I have other little fears, but the biggest one is that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Because obviously there's no notice for that. And like I said, I've actually said it to TR before. I always wonder, when I go in for surgery, I said, I wonder if you actually if somebody dies on the table, do they know? Do they know that they've gone heaven, hell, wherever it is that they go? Because TR always asks me, where do you see yourself if you were to be gone one day? I'm like, on the beach somewhere. So I always wonder if you don't make it and you don't wake up, do you wind up on the beach really? And do you know that this is the rest of the people aren't going to see you anymore? I wonder if in death, do you actually know you've died?
I've watched a lot of stuff on YouTube about near-death experiences. I've gone into a few rabbit holes like that on YouTube. You watch one of those and it takes you into a whole bunch of them. And the ones that I've seen, they're all the same. It seems like a lot of them are the same, where they float up. They see they're floating up above their bodies, and the tunnel and the white light and the peacefulness and all of that. And then usually at some point somebody tells them, no, it's not your time, and they wind up back. But I have seen a few that have talked about that very thing, that once you leave your body, a lot of what you think of as very important in your life right now with the things, everything's going on. You're very aware of, pains and aches and stuff that you have to do and get done and all of that. And then when you enter into this other realm, all of a sudden you find out that that stuff just doesn't seem real. It's like this is your new reality and your life was like a dream, kind of like that. That's what they say. That's what I've seen a lot of people say.
Interesting. Like I said, so that's actually, like I said, it is my fear, especially on days where I don't feel well and I go to lay down. I fear, is this it?
Yeah. How about you, TR?
I really don't have fears.
No fears at all?
No.
Heights.
Hmm?
Heights.
We know driving isn't one of them. And so let's see here. I'm just going to see if we have. Oh, yeah. I think I know the answer to this one already, but well, no, I'm going to switch up. Who is the most competitive between you two? Because I think you're both competitive, but I'd be interested to see who's the most competitive.
I think it's a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we both fight hard for what we want and what we believe in, and we go all in.
And then you wind up at a compromise or whatever through all of that. But I think I totally see where you're coming from on that. And
I don't think that we're usually competing with each other per se, though.
No, we don't compete with each other. I don't compete with SFRs. Definitely not.
I don't compete with TR.
Well, in arguments you do.
Oh yes. I forgot that totally. When we argue, we definitely compete with our beliefs, because I personally stand firm on what I believe, and if I know it to be the law, like if it goes hand in hand with the law and the principles of any doctrine in particular, then I'm going to stand firm on it. And then SF Rose, on the other hand, she stands firm on her belief even when it doesn't match any particular principle or history or anything. It could be just a mere thought from her or a gut feeling. She stands firm on that, while I personally will stand firm in the things that I know. So in that area, yes, we might be competitive in that area. She not letting go, I'm not letting go.
And so I think we're kind of getting towards the tail end of these questions now. We've been going through, and so
all right, so give me 1 second. I'm just gonna let them know that there's 5 minutes. For anybody who wasn't here, who's come in late, or is contemplating if they want to join in on the lottery, the be in it to win it spin of the wheel. $5 get your name on the wheel. There's going to be some form of a cash prize. I haven't decided if I'm doing just one big one to one winner, or if I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3. But I'm going to close it out in about the next 5 minutes. I have everybody so far who has super chatted or done a Cash App or done a PayPal. Everybody's name is on it. Tommy, you have 20. Aisha has 1. Amazing Maisie has 3. Angela has 11. Bridget has 5. Sandy K has 1. Carter has 2. Listen Well has 1. Amy has 2. Peter Lloyd has 2. And Leonard Duke has 4. So those are the amount of names on the wheel. You can only win once. You do not have to be here when I spin the wheel to win. If you live in Jamaica, it would be in the form of being sent in PayPal or Digicel if you don't have PayPal. You must have PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle to win. What am I missing? What else?
Nothing.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
If you, like I said, it's $5 And for every $5, your name gets on. So as an example, if you give 20, you get your name on the wheel 4 times. So I'm going to close it out in the next 5 minutes. Tommy's going to continue asking us the rest of the questions. And Mr. Johnny has one question saying, would we do a parachute jump?
I would.
TR would. I'm more afraid of heights. I'm still not certain I would want to do that. So that's my answer on that. Bridget now has 4 more. Thank you, Bridget. And yes, SRK family, intuition never does lie. I always say, if you've got a gut feeling, there's a reason. And with that said, like I said, final call. You have 5 minutes. If you want to join on the wheel, it's $5 for 1 spot on the wheel. And obviously do the math. For every increment of 5, it gets you another spot on the wheel. And Tommy, take it away.
Okay. Now I'm just scrolling through. We're pretty much out of questions, but I do have something that I want to do to kind of put a good cap on this whole conversation, because some of these have been really deep questions and some have created little mini arguments, and I just want to kind of end this round on something fun and funny. So this might take longer than 5 minutes, but looking back at your relationship, there's all sorts of stories, good times and bad times. And so for each of you, what would you say is one of the funniest moments or stories that you can think of from your time together? Something where you think back and go, that was hilarious.
Well.
The other night.
Well, until now, my favorite so far is SFRO saying the mutt made a chop move. that really got me like.
So the funny part about that whole story was the moth was flying around the house and it landed on his nose. And we were just sitting on the couch together. And I looked up and I saw the bug on his nose. Like on the not in his nostril, but like on the top of the nostril, like on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So I started laughing about it, then decided to get the camera, and he's telling me the funny moment's over, and I'm still filming him anyway. And it just turned into something very unexpected. And literally, I have to honestly say with that one, for me, it was so funny watching him laugh so hard. Who would have think that 2 words could really be so hilarious? It was timing is everything. And literally, when I was trying to edit, and there wasn't much editing to that video, I just wanted to insert some pictures and a couple of little like quotes. And every time I went to do to do the editing and watch it, and I would have to keep watching it. And I would have earphones on and I'd be tearing up still watching it and laughing. And a lot of those videos do that for me for some reason. But this one in particular, for me, watching him laugh so hard, I know it was funny because he's stubborn. So the fact that he allowed me to know it was hysterical was even more hilarious.
That was funny too, because TR was not having it there. You were laughing so hysterical, and he's just sitting there like, like not into it at all. He's just like, whatever. Okay, you're filming me. And then all of a sudden, when you said the chop move thing, he started crying. It's a chop move. He's like, you don't even know what a chop move is.
I'm like, you don't either.
That was really, really funny.
And it was so funny because, like I said, I a little toot came out and he just couldn't even hear any of that because he was so busy laughing about chop move. And I couldn't even breathe. And I'm trying to say, I'm laughing so hard, a little toot came out. And when he finally realized that's what I said, he's like, you know what? And he got up and he walked over to the chair.
And then you couldn't move the camera over to him either for some reason.
I'm challenged. Like when it comes to like the positioning of the camera, I'm like, wait, where are you? So I just started filming his empty seat.
That was really
help myself.
that was really funny. And so I think that's a good way to end the interrogation for today. I think we've made some real progress.
Yes, we did. Like I said, and I narrowed down, like I said, some people had a lot of the same questions. So I tried to like condense them. And some I just eliminated because if people gave me, I asked for like basically people to give me like 3 questions. If they gave me 3 questions, then I usually use their 3 unless they were duplicates of others, or I incorporated like somebody, more than one person asked, where do we see ourselves in 5 years? So I used the question of the 2 years and the 5 years together. And then some that, like I said, were just, I don't know. I looked at, there weren't that many that I was like, you know what? No, I just don't want to even answer that. And none of them actually, nobody was disrespectful in their questions. So anybody's question that didn't make it, it had nothing to do with that other than I had to condense it because obviously we'd be here all night. But nobody, not one person wrote something where I looked at it and said like, wow, that's nervy. Like they were all legitimately like just inquiring minds want to know kind of a question. Nothing at all offensive.
And
speaking of, you didn't ask anything.
Oh yeah, I did. I asked a ton of them in there because I was doing a lot of follow-up on what we're talking about. And this last one was mine.
I'll let you slide.
This last one, the funniest story bit, that was all me.
All right. Well, you're like the best MC ever.
Oh, thank you. That was really, really fun.
I knew you would be perfect for it too. I'm glad. I'm happy with my choice.
It was good because, I'm in your guys' live streams quite a bit and you guys come into mine and everything like that. And so it was nice to get a little bit of time to really just kind of talk to you guys and, kind of banter back and forth a little bit. And so this was really an honor to be able to do this. And I thank you guys for bringing me up.
Well, I thank you for being here. Like I said, I when I spoke to you earlier, I was hoping for short and sweet, but that didn't happen. And I know that you have something you want to edit. So I thank you for giving us so much of your time. I definitely
absolutely.
was not expecting it to be this long. I want to try to just say thank you to a few people, and then we're going to go to the wheel. Tommy, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think I should just do one or giveaway, or you think I should do 2 or 3?
Well, it just depends on how long you want to stick around. Maybe 2 at the most, I would say. Okay. Split it up.
Okay. So I'm going to do 2 spins. I'm just going to say a few thank yous. You can stay up here if you'd like.
Okay.
And
sure.
if you don't want, you can stay up here. I'm just going to go through and thank some people that I haven't been. That's definitely my major downfall is I don't know how to really be in the chat and actually type to the people who are trying to talk to me at the same time. So all of you hosts who do all that when you're live streaming, you're gifted because clearly I'm not. I find it hard.
Well, it's a little more difficult when you're being asked all these questions about life and relationships and everything like that, and to be staring at the chat too. So this is a little bit different.
Well, I'm just going to run off a couple of names that I actually just see in general. So Shonda, thank you always for being here. I appreciate it. The World According to Jim, thank you for being here. Chris, you know what? I hear people say your name. I don't know if it's Shay or Shaya, because I've heard people say it both ways. So I'm going to say it both ways so that I can't get it wrong. You've actually, I think, been here from start to finish. And I haven't really seen you, obviously in mine, I've seen you in TR and other people. So
No, you can see him in TR. You've seen him in yours.
in a lot, he's been in yours
For real? I've not seen him.
ever.
Well, about 9 months ago was the
Right,
last time.
but I'm saying hi. So thank you for coming and spending all this time here. Carter Club, Bridget, SRK family, Mr. Johnny 25. You saw him, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for spending a lot of time in here because I know that it's very late in the UK. So I really appreciate you coming and participating so much. Angela, thank you. Sandy K, thank you. Amy, thank you. Tiffany, Jay and Sash, Shay's Tube. I know that a lot of you probably aren't here anymore, but I'm just going and thanking anybody. And if I miss anybody, please don't get upset with me. It's not on purpose. So with that said, I am going to close off the wheel. I will give somebody one last minute here. If somebody types in the chat and says that they want to be in, type it right now that you want to be, or go and do it. If not, I'm going to spin and say that the first giveaway is going to be $50, and you can have it in the form of an Amazon gift card or cash to your Cash App, your PayPal, or your Zelle if you have it. And I think the only one from Jamaica who entered it was Peter Lloyd, and I know he has PayPal, so I don't have to worry about the Digicel credit or anything like that. So with that said, we're going to spin it. Whoever wins this, it's $50, and you just tell me where you want it. And good luck.
Yeah, hopefully we can get. Oh, there you go. Spinning and spinning and spinning away.
Landed on no one.
That was no one. All right.
Nobody won $50.
That's hilarious.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
I won.
Where do you want it, Tommy?
You could do a PayPal. There's a link right on my main page there. It's pretty easy.
I've PayPal you before, so.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm just going to run right into the next one because it's late. And the next one is going to be $25. Same scenario. If Tommy wins, we spin again.
Correct.
All right, so here we go.
I mean, travels. You could probably take a couple of my names off the wheel if you want, or whatever.
That's going to be a lot of names to take off the wheel.
Nah, we'll just spin again and hope that it
Okay.
lands on.
All right.
Take a couple of my names off the wheel.
Okay. All right. So here we go again. One more time for the spin.
Oh, look at that. Angela M.
I'm not sure. I don't think she's here any longer, if I had to take a guess. But I know where to find her. So I'm not concerned. So I don't think she's in the chat anymore. Let me just actually try to type into her name. If she was in the chat, she would type. So that's the first of, I'm going to say, many to come of giveaways. I might not always do it this way, but this was a more intimate type of chat. And being that it was personal and all these questions, you know, that we were being asked and we were answering, I didn't feel comfortable doing a giveaway that just some random person sees giveaway in the chat shows up, never been here before, and wins. So I don't know if I'll always do it this way, but I like doing it this way. Like I said, sometimes, you got to be in it to win it.
That's right.
So congratulations, Tommy.
Yes, thank you.
You all your hard work paid off on here tonight.
It sure did. I want to also thank all of the mods and everybody that had, like Shonda's graphics, and anybody that has been dropping my link into the stream. I appreciate that. And World According to Jim, I see you've been shouting me out a few times. I just want to say thank you. And Carter Club, I know that you've dropped my link in there as well. And anybody else who I missed comments from along the way. Shay's Tube, thank you so much. You said great hosting before, so thank you so much. And so anybody that I didn't get to acknowledge earlier, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here and for the support.
Well, I have to say I appreciate you. I can actually speak for TR on this one to say we both appreciate you and everything that you stand for. You've been, from day one, just the most loyal, genuine, consistent, all around person for both of us. And there's not many out there like you. So like I said, to me, you're a diamond in the rough. So like I said,
thank
and
you.
I actually enjoyed tonight. Enough so to say that I wouldn't mind from time to time doing more of like a, maybe not the Q&A all the time, but maybe, even if it's trivia or a game night or something. And I would love for you to come back on because you are meant to do this.
Well, you guys, I know that it's tough to run a live stream and be asked all of those questions and everything like that. And, to put yourself out there like that on the internet, on YouTube and all of that kind of stuff. And I think that all the people that follow you guys on TR's show and over here really appreciate the opportunity to get to know a little deeper into what you guys are about and your relationship and things like that. So I think this was a really good idea.
Where'd it go? How do I get it back? TR, how do I get it back?
What do you think?
Oh no, I knocked the whole chat off. It, like I said, for me, you were just to us. I mean, I know I'm going off track a little bit, but you have been a blessing, and I couldn't think of anybody else that I would have wanted to have done this, who I knew would have done it so natural and made it a great stream.
Well, thank you so much.
And you were patient because, like I said, I was having like a little bit of a panic attack before we started the show. That's why we got off to a late start, because I'm still very much a novice at this. And I don't really feel that I'm still that I'm really learning some of the stuff. I don't, the technology part of it, like I'm sitting here and I look at these two big monitors and this big red box that has like volume and this other thing and these speakers, and I don't know. I just it's just, for me, I don't know how to navigate it. And then when there's an echo, I don't know what am I supposed to turn down? I don't know any of that. And you guys just all seem to figure it out. I don't get it. So
you will, though. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll figure it out. You'll be like, oh yeah, I need StreamYard over here and I need YouTube over here so I can see the comments. And then if I need to bring up a wheel, I need to bring up a tab for that. It's just bringing up the tabs and navigating StreamYard, and you'll get it. It's just a matter of experience. So don't even worry about that. If that's the biggest issue that you have with going live, then you're doing pretty good.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I have the help of some people who tend to give me all of their patience and tolerance, because I get a little bit frustrated because I do like to know what I'm doing. And when I don't know what I'm doing, I get a little bit stressed out.
Yeah. And it can be stressful at times. but you just keep plugging away, and I think you're doing very good at what your live stream is intended to be. And I think it's really accomplishing what you're trying to do in the theme of This Is Us. And you're putting yourselves out there and you're creating an entertaining place to be. And whether you think you have all the technology and stuff worked out or whatever, it's all working out. So don't beat yourself up. Just be proud of what you're doing because you deserve it.
Well, I appreciate those words. I do. I appreciate it. And I thank you again for coming and spending a large portion of your evening. It's like I said, because I know you want to do the editing, and that's why you weren't going live tonight. So thank you for giving us the extra time. I know everybody here enjoyed you, and I'm going to see if my partner over here wants to say anything.
I just want to say thank you all for coming as well. Thank you for spending your time with us. As I normally say, whatever your contribution is, it doesn't have to be a lot. If you came here and you spent 2 minutes, we're grateful that you found it possible to contribute 2 minutes to the show. So if you came here and you were here for 5 minutes, thank you. If you spent half an hour, thank you. If you were here from the start, thank you. Whatever you contributed. Time to me is one of the greatest things that you can contribute to someone's life, your time. For those who contributed cash, we appreciate you as well. We appreciate that gesture. We thank you for everything that you've done for us. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for contributing whatever. And God bless you until we meet again. I am thankful to you, Tommy Travels, for your contribution as well. Thank you so much. I just want you to know that I appreciate you much. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna say just maybe like a tiny bit more, nothing, like just for like another 30 seconds basically, and then we're gonna end this. I see Tony Damien back. Thank you for being here. Savvy One, thank you for being here. Swamp Donkey, thank you for being here. Listen Well, thank you for your kind words as well. And if I missed anybody again, like I said, I apologize. I thank everybody who did come out and spend their time with us. And anybody who, like TR said, whether you donated your time or you donated towards the wheel or in general, everything is appreciated. So to the ones who did super chat, I don't know if I personally thanked all of you, but there was Aisha, obviously Tommy, Amazing Maisie, Angela, Bridget, Sandy K, Carter, Listen Well, Amy, Peter Lloyd, aka Blacklight Records, Leonard Duke, The World According to Jim. If I have missed anybody, I apologize. I never want to miss anybody. I don't believe that I missed anybody, but if in fact I did, please accept my sincere apologies. It's not intentional. And I can actually thank anybody that I did miss tomorrow, because I will see it in the analytics. If I didn't thank somebody, I will see it there. So if that's the case, I will do the right thing if I had missed anybody. So with that said, I wish you all a good evening, rest of the evening. I thank you all for being here, and be back again next week, probably the same time, same place. And I hope to see you all again next week. So I hope you enjoyed another episode of This Is Us. And we are going to be ending.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
StreamYard.
Oh. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you next week. And I'm sure I'll see you in TR stream tomorrow. Take care. Good night, Tommy.
Good night.
Thank you
Good
for
night, everybody.
everything. Good night, everyone.
Yes. Good night, Chop Move.
Thank you. Good night.